welcome back to Comic Book Wednesdays, a weekly series where we discuss comic books. We're your hosts. I'm Ian,
I'm Al.
And I'm Shane.
and we're back with some more Gambit. Gambit, Al. You feeling it?
Yeah, I actually kind of was. I kind of like these three more than the first three. I enjoyed I guess the interaction with Logan, and it was fun. Where I was kind of missing that on the first set.
I actually feel you. Uh, I think the interaction with Logan really brought me in.
Yeah.
So there was that. And I felt like he was kind of a little bit more Gambity, but
Yeah.
and I also really like the fact that he was called out for being a scumbag.
Yeah, I like that too. I did feel bad for Dan. That kind of sucked, but I think it needed to happen to get Gambit to be Gambity.
Oh, absolutely.
Shane, your thoughts?
Shane? Yeah.
No, I really liked it. I think it hit all the points that, like, it did a really great job introducing some things, like, magic-y realm-wise, because whoever was behind the art there for the tarot cards and behind the, like, that ritual dagger that the Lily, I believe is, not Lily, the lady
Lily?
at the end was holding. Yeah, might have been her name. I think I messed up there. But, like, whoever was behind some of that art really did their research, and I appreciated that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think you messed her name up. I think you got that right.
Oh, cool. Like, I thought Lily, and I was like, that's such a nice name, and she's a bitch. That doesn't fit. That's where my brain went.
Yeah, I feel that. But you got it, bud. So we already mentioned Dan. So I guess that's the end of the first issue. He dies.
Yeah, gets choked out with a phone cord.
As he's on the phone with Wolverine. And, like, I gotta say, like, Wolverine's on the other phone. Who's this? You got the wrong number, bub. As he's like, and he's just like, hello? I guess I'm going to New Orleans.
Well, I mean, he did realize, I guess, that it was Gambit's apartment.
This is true, caller ID.
So.
But can you imagine that moment of him just looking at the phone and being like,
who the fuck is this?
What does the Cajun want? Oh, I hear somebody getting strangled. Alright, I guess he needs my help. I'm gonna rub it in his face later.
That's that's pretty accurate Logan description.
Yeah. A lot of fun X-Men-y stuff with this one, and I think that's why I was enjoying it more.
Yeah. The scene where Logan's like, you stole Cyclops' uniform? Was awesome.
I like that a lot. And then he was going to try to put the Nightcrawler tail on him. No.
And he did. Like, in the next panel, it was one of the guards, or the villains talking about how there was a blue guy with a tail running around, kicking the shit out of people.
Yeah, he was also Beast at one point, too. They mentioned that, too. So that's cool.
That was a brilliant plan by Gambit to just be like, oh, we're just going to convince him the whole team is here. And then the dude was... I was very impressed by that, where he was just like, no, you guys have taken on Galactus and a bunch of other things. Like, I'm just me. I don't want this.
I don't want none of that shit. Don't do it, please.
Yo. God, I'm jumping all over the place now. Just something popped into my head. So the demons want the tarot cards. So they give the fucking demon the cards. He's like, this is a fucking Uno deck. And then and they're like Sponge Bill square shorts.
Yeah.
Oh god. That shit was
good
funny.
old Sponge Bill.
God, you just got sponge built by Gambit. That was pretty funny. That was pretty good.
Yeah, these ones are definitely much more enjoyable than the first set was.
I agree. Al, you're a resident Gambit expert. I need your in-depth analysis.
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much know as much as I do now with reading the stuff that we have. You know, he's definitely an amazing character, but I still don't think these books do the justice as much as I wish they would.
No, and we got another story here. I mean,
yeah,
the 12 issues we're reading is 6 and 6, so that's kind of cool. And I like that we're doing that because a lot of stuff we do is more like storyline based rather than comic book run based.
Yeah, I like that it's just shorts instead of a full-on story. You know, like it's a nice change of pace.
It is, and that's how like you see a lot of those volumes out there. Like there's probably a Gambit Volume 1 out there that is just this Terra Deck story. You know, you could probably buy just a trade paperback with that in there.
So I know there is a bigger Gambit book that I haven't read that I plan on reading, but it's pretty low on the list right now. Mainly because I'm reading original X-Men stuff, so
right.
You know, it's gonna get there eventually, but it's, like I said, pretty low on the list.
That's fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing, I mean, like with something like this, is like you don't have to do all the crossovers. You don't have to, you know. I was kind of thinking back to when we did Avengers, our first book, and I had to compile a reading order based on a website that I found, and I had it all written out in my book. And I had to tell you guys, oh, we're jumping to this book, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're going back and forth, which made it difficult. But with something like this, it's really like cut and dry, like issues 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we're done. You know?
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the short versions of these stories. Like, it just doesn't make it... You don't have to remember 5 different things that's going on at one time, and, you know, like... It's just much easier.
Oh, absolutely. It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
And they're not like novels. Like, I remember back to when we read Watchmen. Every issue was so wordy.
Yeah, this feels more like a comic book than Watchmen did. Like, Watchmen definitely was more graphic novel feel to it to me.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good point. Like, if something like Watchmen, which is wordy, is a novel, but in picture form, where this is more like your run-of-the-mill comic book.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that. The light tone suggests the same. I mean, there's been jokes all throughout it, you know?
Yeah.
Very light, very humorous, which I liked. You know?
Yeah, I've been enjoying that aspect of it. Like, it is more Gambit-esque to me because of, you know, the joking and the just the whole lighthearted part of it. You know, like, it really... I've really been enjoying that aspect of it, but it's definitely not the same, but it's a good book. I'll give it that.
Yeah, the way I see it is, it's like, is it like gonna win an award? Did it? No, but like, I think that it's a good book. Like, it's enjoyable to read.
Yeah.
and you got to give them credit because, like Shane was saying, they're getting some of the occult stuff down.
Yeah, they definitely have done their research on that shit. It sounds like.
I don't really know much about it. Shane, is there anything specific that you'd want to talk about?
Yeah, there's several panels that I took screenshots of. So like when she's holding the dagger and she's about to sacrifice him, like that is very traditionally like what I would picture like doing research on this as an antheme, which is a fancy word for a ritual dagger. And they basically designed in the comic what they gave her was very stereotypical of what a ritual dagger would look like. Like it was very clear from the get-go, like anybody who had any like knowledge of any like occulty kind of thing would look at that and be like, "Oh, I know what that is." Like you just recognize it instantly, which I thought was really cool. And then when he threw the tarot cards at one of the villains and the like as they fizzled out, I got to see like you get to see some of the images of the cards. That is a direct copy paste for what a traditional tarot deck actually looks like.
Oh, that's cool.
Like those were the same cards that you could find like just buying a regular tarot deck off the shelf would look like that.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is there any like type of like say they have the extra cards, the ones that are like the evil, like the one makes them blind. The image on that card, is that anything that you know of? Like,
Ian, I know you looked at that?
Yeah, I'm blind now. It's, I know, like it's not an actual thing, but like he seems to have done his, research,
Yeah, so I can actually kind of speak on that a little bit because what it looked like to me is it was very like what I would consider almost like Cthulhu Lovecraftian kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it looked like to me. And so like in looking at that, like a little bit of a side tangent. Every tarot deck you get is going to be different. Like sure, you could buy a complete traditional one that looks like just like the ones in the Gambit comic, or you could buy a more unique one, and the unique one is going to have like its own like twist and spins. Like I got a Philly based one that has one of the cards is just gritty. Like
nice.
Like there are unique ones all throughout that you can find that like all have different meanings, but like it looks like they were definitely dipping into eldritch mythology and using some of those, like even the way that the demons looked were more eldritch in nature, so they have this like Lovecraftian thing going on.
Yeah, that's cool.
So like, Marvel has a rich history. I don't know too much about the demon and magic side of Marvel, but there's a lot there. I wonder if they have different types of demons representing different things, and maybe like a Lovecraftian aspect is just something that they have.
I could see it.
A pantheon of those type of demons. That'd be cool. And I wonder if it's like D&D where there's both like demons and devils, and they're like kind of at war with each other.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Any other specific panels that you had in mind, Shane?
Let me just flip through a couple of notes here.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's two that come to mind. Like one with the torture scene with Gambit, like that was one of the ones that really like was like, oh wow, this is intense, but also really good, because as we find out later, he definitely does live up to his character, where he's just like, where they're talking about like, oh, he's had psychic training, like he lives with the X-Men, and like I just thought that was really cool. But the box that the tarot cards come in looks very much how the Necronomicon is portrayed in the movies.
Like yeah, I did notice that.
Fleshy looking kind of thing.
Made from the flesh of humans,
yeah.
Makes me want to watch Evil Dead.
All right, Evil Dead's good. But yeah, those are the big ones for me.
It's fair. It's fair. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I was going to talk about? I did like the twist. I did not actually see him being a demon. Like, I just thought he was a mutant.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
So that's a cool twist.
Didn't seem like Gambit was, though. Too much.
No, Gambit kind of keeps it cool the whole time, though, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much actually surprises him.
No.
Oh, I can't get in. There it goes. Yeah. Alex, I'm not disliking it. I'm happy we're reading it. Mostly because I think the character of Gambit is just fascinating.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Absolutely. I don't know. I think we're gonna see more continuation in New Orleans. Like just the way that the last issue ended. So I think maybe issues 7, 8, and 9 will continue kind of this story, but like move on from the demon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited for next week to see what happens.
I hope they get into the clans a bit more.
Did we talk about the scene? Sorry to interrupt. Where Wolverine did the last favor for him?
No, we didn't talk about that yet.
Off.
Oh my god, that scene was fantastic.
Yeah. How did you look at the card? Well,
I have a friend that has his healing factor doesn't bother that.
Boom.
That was awesome.
That also really ties in Wolverine's reaction of being like, next time you need a favor, call somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, absolutely love that part. Good use of Wolverine. I mean,
oh yeah.
Everybody likes the dark Wolverine, fucking cool as hell. But like, some funny Logan's gonna be good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like funny Logan. I almost like it better than the dark, angry Logan, in my opinion.
That's fair. I mean, I can go for both. It's all based on my mood. Where I am, there is this one Wolverine book that's only, I think it's like just like that original Gambit where it's like 4 issues.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like him in Japan just like messing up the Yakuza. Like it's really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get into that because I like that story. But that's for another time. I'm kind of rambling at this point. Do y'all have anything else that you want to add? Because I think I've said my piece.
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to keep reading, and I do agree with you both that I really felt like we got to see more of Gambit being Gambit in this one. That was nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Felt like the character. Alright, cool. I think that about wraps it up here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Yeah, have a good night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.